This Memorial Day, we commemorate 250 years of sacrifice. Our nation reached this historic anniversary only because of the troops who gave everything for the Stars and Stripes. They braved the face of battle and terrors of war so their loved ones could sleep safely in their beds. They sacrificed their tomorrow so we could enjoy our today. Every one of the soldiers who paid the ultimate price safeguarded the liberties enshrined in our founding documents. From 1776 to 2026, we must never forget the courage and selflessness of every American in uniform who held the line and stood firm against evil. We cannot bring them back, but we can keep their memories sacred in our souls and preserve hearts of gratitude for their deeds. So this Memorial Day, as we approach our country's 250th anniversary, remember those who laid down their lives to make it possible.
Ooh, happy Memorial Day to everybody out there, whether or not you've had a loved one that fell in a war, or if you know somebody, have a friend, anything in that regards. I hope you guys had much more today than barbecue and swimming in a pool or going to the beach. It is obviously a solemn day for a lot of people. Unfortunately, not solemn to a lot of the commies and stuff on the left. They seem to have forgotten so much. But today, like I titled this is a special presentation. There wasn't going to be a whole lot of news, but I do have some news. But the big feature of everything is, by the way, you're going to hear that song 2 more times, taps. The big feature is today, President Trump, in case you haven't seen it, President Trump, Pete Hegseth, General Raising Kane, who else was there? J.D. Vance, all spoke in regards to the commemoration of Memorial Day at Arlington and putting the wreath and everything, and I've got it all to show you. So I'm going to be showing that. I'm not going to really interrupt too much because, you know, the day is what it is, and this is a holiday, and I'm going to talk to SV about some stuff, but I just wanted to, before we get to that, and I hope you enjoy it, there's a whole lot to listen to, I wanted to bring this up for you as well. So earlier today, this is very, very important in regards to what I'm going to be telling you next. Earlier today, President Trump posted this: the enriched uranium nuclear dust will either be immediately turned over to the United States to be brought home and destroyed, or preferably, in conjunction and coordination with the Islamic Republic of Iran, destroyed in place or at another acceptable location, with the Atomic Energy Commission, very important, or its equivalent, being witness to this process and event. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. That was at 5:45 p.m. today. I'm pretty sure that post kind of eliminated what small opportunity there was for a real peace agreement. And I'm going to lead into this a little bit because I had posted something myself a little while ago. This was earlier this afternoon at 7:22 a.m. I posted this at 7:22 a.m. What if, in fighting Iran and Cuba, Trump is actually fighting the same enemy? It's been about them all along. And I put this picture together with Grok, and it's just President Trump, and in the shadows, a bunch of other government type people just lurking in the shadows. And in order to understand what's going on, I think you have to go back to what President Trump said on the campaign trail. And he said it a number of times: I will obliterate the deep state. Beyond any of the other things that he said in his campaign, he reiterated that one in public a number of times. I will obliterate the deep state. In order to obliterate the deep state, that the Don Rowe doctrine and everything he's doing is a major part of what it would take to obliterate the deep state. Turning off USAID, turning off all the money going to Ukraine, stopping the fraud from the Somalians. I've said many times, these Somalians could have done this themselves. They had to have had help. Somebody had to show them and say, fill out these forms and we'll make sure the money flows. All of this, I think, is a big part of obliterating the deep state. And I think that's something people need to really, really dial back and think. What is this really all about? The Democrats, the media, the panicans, everybody's freaking out. Hey, look at the gas prices over here. They need you to freak out. Oh, look, the grocery prices are real high. They need you to freak out. They don't have anything, and they probably know what's coming. I mean, as you know today, let's see if I have this one. Oh, yeah, it's this thing popped up again. It's Sir George Floyd Day. Every one of these Democrat loons are out there posting stuff about, it's the 6th anniversary of George Floyd dying. Like anybody gives a crap, like that matters to America. They are trying to do anything to deflect. Because in obliterating the deep state, what he just said about the enriched uranium, the dust, now I want you to go back to something. Go back to Nessun Dorma. And some of you guys are probably thinking, what about Nessun Dorma? Where did that come from? I mean, it's an old song, but what was the significance when we all heard it? Because it immediately reminded you, or should have reminded you, of the movie, The Sum of All Fears. I've even showed it on one night where we actually watched the entire movie, The Sum of All Fears. If you're not busy, you might want to tune into that and find it on, I don't know, Peacock or YouTube or something, and dial that movie in. In that movie, a nuclear bomb goes off in Baltimore. What happened after that nuclear bomb went off? Do you guys all remember? I'll look in the chat. Do you guys remember what happened? What did Ben Affleck do? He got the nuclear dust. He got the enrichment. They were able to see where it came from. Whose nuclear material was it? And if the eeriness of this right now is more fact than fiction. Because when they confirmed where it came from, then they were able to say who did the bomb, who did what they had to do. They went back and they wasted everybody that was involved, but they had to find out where the bomb came from. And Ben Affleck, his character, Jack Ryan, in that movie, found out whose dust that was. So when you see what President Trump posted, this more than likely sent a shiver up the spine of all the deep staters. Because now they know this is the objective. I don't care about the Strait of Hormuz. I don't care about the gas prices. That's probably why he kept saying, we got something much bigger than gas prices right now. The gas price is going to go down. He said, in exact words, we got something else we need to do. We need to verify with the Atomic Energy Commission, where'd this shit come from? And right now, the little hairs on the back of your neck should be getting to stand up and go, your spidey senses going, oh crap, he knows? Yeah, because he wouldn't have posted it if he already didn't know. It's like a lawyer. You go into court, you ask a question, you already know what the answer is. You just want everybody else to hear it. Did you do this and do that thing? I already know you did. Our prosecutors and all of our investigators already tied you to the scene of the crime. We're now just letting you have to announce it in court. Have you guys heard anything before about President Trump saying the Atomic Energy Commission had to come to look at the dust in Iran? Why would that be? Start asking yourself these questions. Why would we want our Atomic Energy Commission to go over to Iran and start verifying the data? And I don't care what you do with it afterwards. I mean, that's pretty much what he just says. You destroy it afterwards. I don't care about that. Nobody's going to get it. But when we do get it, we're going to have to investigate and verify it. We're going to look for that signature of that dust. What do you think happens when he finds out where it came from? What do you think happens when the world finds out where that enriched uranium came from? The Atomic Energy Commission, or its equivalent, are going to witness and process the whole scene. It's not like we need the uranium. That ain't going to happen. They just want to test it. They just want to know, where did this come from? And more than likely, he already knows, but he's going to prove it to the world who's been doing what with Iran. And you know, it's not a ongoing thing. I bet you they've already know exactly where it is. They probably have special ops guys already excavating it. They don't need a whole lot. They may have already transferred some back to the United States. They just need you. They need the world to know, where did this come from? Maybe that was one of the things on, I don't know, discussion in China. Hey, Xi, we've looked at this nuclear dust, and we can tell it's not you. I know who it is. Do you want to tell me about it before we go any further? It's obvious to me that he knows where this dust is. He's told us many times. It's obvious to me that he knows where it came from, and it's obvious that they don't want him to find out. And so I had posted something else yesterday, and I posted this yesterday. And I said, anyone else having an eerie feeling that bombs are about to start being dropped again? And this was, let's see here, yesterday at 6:22 p.m. A little over 24 hours ago. I'm like, I'm feeling kind of weird here. I'm feeling weird because Iran can't strike a deal. And that's the part where a lot of people have to get to. They can't strike a deal the same way Ukraine couldn't strike a deal. They are being forced into this, in my opinion, just like Zelensky is being forced to continue fighting. I gotta believe that Zelensky had thought about, maybe let's cut a deal, but he was told, no deals, keep it going. Because if Trump finds out about this stuff, we're all going to be swinging. And so here we are again with Iran. Hey, let's dig up some of that dust you guys got. Let's figure out where it came from. Let's do some Nessun Dorma stuff. We can't do that. Can't possibly do that. So what happens when and Trump says, you got no deal. You can have all the money you want. You can have MAGA Gaza. I don't care. You got to give me that. Yeah, I'll release billions to you. Sounds like a great deal, but we just can't give you this uranium dust. Why not? You don't need it. I'm going to give you everything else. Why don't you give me the dust? You guys will be able to run around, put your women back in burqas. I don't give a shit. All I just want is this dust. And that for you to join the Abraham Accords. We can't do that. And so yesterday I posted that. I actually posted that. And I said 6:22 p.m. And I'm like, anyone else feeling eerie about this? Well, literally, while the credits were rolling tonight, SV sent me something. And I haven't had a chance to verify it broadly, but boom! U.S. forces have struck missile launch sites and Iranian boats trying to place mines in southern Iran. This was at 7 p.m. I didn't have a crystal ball. I didn't know. Nobody called me, hey, Barry, yeah, we're going to have to start bombing again. I just realized they don't want to give this dust up. I just realized the same thing with Zelensky. I can't do it. These deep state guys that we're all talking about obliterating, we can't, because those guys in the shadows are like, hell no. You can't give this up, Vladimir Zelensky. You can't give this up, Mullah. Because if you give that dust up, game over. Game over, not for Iran, but for the deep state. Now, I'm surprised I'm still on here, because any moment now we could go blip, because I think we're getting closer and closer to Nessun Dorma time. I could be completely poop crazy, but I'm just showing you what I said a couple of days ago, and here we are. SB just sent me, oh yeah, bombs are flying. Interesting. On Memorial Day, like a day after one of their holidays, we're supposed to be finding out in the next day or two, are we going to be doing a deal? And I guess not. And you could see it building, as Trump said. You saw everybody talking about, oh, the terms of the deal. We're going to give you billions. Yeah. I want the dust. Nothing else happens unless I get that. That's my prize. That's my cost right there. You can have all this other stuff. You can have the Straits or Hormuz. I want the dust. And it's the one thing they can't agree to. And then, of course, right on cue, which I'm sure now we're going to see more of it, is things start heating up. Israel's already bombing the heck out of Lebanon. I doubt there's going to be a deal, because I don't think they can make one. And if they can't make one, then that's when we're just going to have to get in there and take it. The objective for this entire military operation, I firmly believe, is to get that dust, to verify it, to tell the world where it actually came from. Who gave it to Iran? Obama. Excuse me. Did I say that out loud? But even then, even if it was Obama who gave it to him, Obama, with his $14 million house in the Cape Cod, he's not the guy running the show. He was a pawn himself. There are a lot deeper people. See, I don't think you can be a member of the deep state if they know who you are. I don't think you can be in the deep state if I can see Hillary and if I can see Obama. No. You're doing what we're telling you to do. The people pulling the strings and being the marionette behind, those people are the ones who are freaking out right now. That's why we're getting so many crazies and MK Ultra type stuff with people shooting up the whole place. It's going to get worse, especially if they can get that dust. It's my opinion until proven otherwise, but it's really looking that way. Let's talk to SB. What do you got, SB? Anything?
Hey, happy Memorial Day, Barry.
Happy
Happy
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, fanfare patriots.
Before we
Yeah.
get there, how'd you do this weekend?
Oh, there were no medals. I was playing youngsters that were like a third my age, but it was a lot of fun to play, a lot of good camaraderie with my friends, new and old down there. Had a great time. It was kind of a quick weekend. Went down and came right back. Yeah.
Wow. So what you got?
Yeah.
Have you been able to confirm any further? Are these people bombing anymore?
Yeah, I do have details. So this is from Jennifer Griffin. She is a chief national security correspondent for Fox News. So 2 Iranian boats were caught laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz, senior U.S. officials say. The U.S. military eliminated both IRGC vessels and also struck at a surface-to-air missile site in Bandar Abbas that was targeting U.S. warplanes. These were defensive strikes. They do not indicate ceasefire is over, according to 2 well-placed sources. So that's what we have right now.
Wow. 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 And this is on a holiday weekend. So
No
who
rest for the
knows?
weary.
Yeah, it's going to keep coming. I saw the guy you had to banish, and
Yeah, he,
I don't normally bring up the trolls, but this one's funny because he's like, "Yeah, we're in a recession." What? I don't know if you've
he-
seen the news, but AAA said it's the most highly
huh.
traveled weekend in like history. I posted something. We had a second air show down here. Fort Lauderdale
Hmm.
was a couple of weeks ago. Then we had
Yeah.
Miami's was this past weekend. Everything's packed, and I'm like,
Yep.
people aren't thinking recession. Oh,
Well,
by
he
the
probably
way,
lives in a cave. He probably lives in his mom's basement or a cave somewhere.
I
Yeah. He doesn't
I,
get
I,
out much.
I got to bring this up because I've been watching things over the holiday, and it's just very interesting how already. Let me see if this pulls. This is the one where I think it doesn't work. Hold on. Oh no, it doesn't work. I don't have it, but I can show you guys right now. This is the market right now. The only thing red, futures, because obviously the market is closed. The futures, oil down 6%. Everything else, Dow futures up, way over. I think it just broke 51,000, first time ever. 51,000. S&P up. NASDAQ up. Dow futures jumped 400 points as oil tumbles on hope of U.S.-Iran deal is close. If you take that further and look at, silver, so look at that chart. That chart. Recession? No. No.
It looks like a lot of prosperity to me, man. All I see is numbers going up. I mean, there's going to be fluctuations, of course, as things, move around. But 51,000, did that ever happen under Potato Head?
No, 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 no. And
No.
so when
Did
like
it?
people say you're
Hmm.
brainwashed,
Yeah,
you'd have to be brainwashed the other way not to look at the
pretty
actual
much.
numbers. Then forget me. Do you not see this? Oh, that's why you don't even know what to look at. It
I sent them
just
back to
sucks.
Blue Sky where they just watch CNN and MS Dumb Now.
Oh, boy. All right.
Yeah.
So
All right.
are you that's you got anything else right now?
No, that was just about it. I mean, I was just gonna say home of the free because of the brave. I mean, I respect, my dad was in the Navy. He's passed now. He was actually, his remains were brought out and they buried him at sea. I
Oh
have the
wow.
plaque and everything. So yeah, I don't think I could ever go out there to see it, but yeah, that's what he wanted. He wanted to be buried at sea. So that was pretty cool. So I'm remembering him today and all
Mm.
the others who have sacrificed their lives and continue to put their lives on the line. So
And what
yeah.
was that? He was a Navy guy?
Yes, he was in the
Wow.
Navy.
Very
Hmm.
cool. My dad was a paratrooper back in the day.
Oh,
It's like,
cool.
I'm not jumping out of no perfectly good airplane. It ain't gonna
Well,
happen.
you're not a Navy guy. You don't like being on the water, so that's eliminating your options.
I would, it's funny though. As much as I wouldn't want to be on a boat, I think like Ben Dykes, it would be really cool to be on a submarine for a little while
Hmm.
until
Yes.
I start feeling closed in. That might
Yeah,
be
I would
me.
say I'd be a little claustrophobic there for a while.
Yeah, and I think I'm a little bit too big to be ducking around inside of a sub. But I'd have to talk about Ben. How much room you got in there? Am I going to be comfortable sleeping, or hearing all that noise and like ping, pong, pong? What the heck is going on? Oh my gosh!
Well, didn't you visit North Carolina, the retired battleship? I went
Yeah,
there one
yeah,
time, and I just going through all those doors and everything. I mean,
yeah.
it's very claustrophobic.
I wonder.
Everything's metal and
See, that's an old boat, and I just wonder, what's it? Up in Wilmington, I forget the name of it, but it's an older boat,
yeah.
that battleship. I wonder if they've gotten, more friendly for bigger people. Oh
Oh man,
gosh.
we're not going
And
to shame anyone tonight.
it's funny. When I was showing the video when we had the air show down here in Fort Lauderdale, one of the hockey players got to fly with the Thunderbirds, and he's not a little guy, but
Mm,
so he got inside that cockpit. Now I'd love to do that. I'd love to be a fighter jet flyer or something. But
cool stuff. All right.
all right, so
All right.
I'm gonna
Commercial break.
commercial break, and then we're gonna go into the rest of the show.
So you said
one of the sponsors that we've worked with for some time is Patriot Attic, and they've got this berry packet, a mystery box. And the only way I can describe this thing, the only way I can describe the veteran mystery box is to actually pull it out and let you see some of this stuff, because what took so long today, I had to keep going back. I'm like, are you sure they're giving this away for free? No commercial. I'm like, are you sure they're giving this away for free? I want to make sure you confirm it, because people are going to begin hitting the button and going to berrypack.com. All right, so I want to show you some of this stuff. First of all, let me get the plastic out of the way. There's a whole bunch of stuff. This thing is heavy, so let me grab it. Hopefully shows up on the video. All right, there's this giant wooden box. Hold on, you know what? I'm gonna have to go to regular camera because I got to show you guys a whole bunch of stuff. Let me go ahead and go with no background for a second. Hold on. Is it off? There it is. Okay. I wanted you to see this. Look at this giant box, and inside it, it's got all kinds of room for the stuff I'm going to show you. It's got these really neat golden hinges, and then it's got a clasp that you can open and shut right there. I don't know if I have the ability to open it right now. I don't want to spill everything, because this is crazy. This thing opens up, and it looks like this has got plexiglass here, but this is a big wooden box. Pretty cool. Now I got to show you all the stuff that comes in it. And I wanted her to confirm. I'm like, and what she said is, it's a mystery box. Some of the stuff might be in it. Some of the stuff might not be in it. But in any event, let me pull the loot that they put in here. An American flag. Yep, you can see it. American flag. What else we got in here? A giant pillow. This pillow says God, guns, and Trump. God, guns, and Trump. Giant pillow. All right. What else we got here? We got a hat. This hat says, which I am not, but it says U.S. Navy veteran right there. And it's got Trump, proudly. And let me see, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I'm still reaching. And there's some sort of patch, a U.S. Navy patch. And let me keep going. I'm still digging in here. And I guess these are flag socks. These are socks that go inside the mystery package. Huh. What else is in here? We have Trump American deck of cards in here. I told you it was a lot. What else is this? What is this? Oh, this is a military watch. You can see it. Yep, that's a military watch. And I'm still digging. There's more stuff in here. And then it looks like, I don't know who that is. Hold on. I'm busy. And this is a knife. It's either the red knife or the red, white, and blue knife. I don't want to open it up because I want to give this away to somebody. But all these things are in the box. I think that's pretty much everything. And again, it comes in this beautiful brown display case. Pretty wild, pretty good, big. It's heavy, it's not light, it's not flimsy. It's a good sized box. Let me just make sure I don't drop it on anything. All right, so wanted to make sure I showed you all that. Let me continue without putting on the flag background. So you get all this stuff. You can feel the weight. The American flag folded clean, a display case as you saw, and still there's more. Every single one of these pieces is the real deal. Now, coming with Memorial Day, we're remembering the heroes who gave everything for our freedom and honoring the veterans still with us today. As a tribute, My Tactical Promos, Patriot Attic is sending out these free veteran mystery boxes. to veterans and military families this Memorial Day weekend. Just go to berrypack.com to get yours now. Each box can include items like the hat, the commemorative coins, American flags, and a whole bunch more. This is just their way of saying thank you for every veteran service and making sure no veteran is ever forgotten this Memorial Day. Normally, this box retails anywhere from $60 to $600. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Depending on what lands in yours, right now, you can get it through Memorial Day. You can grab it just for the cost of shipping. No hidden charges, no recurring fees. Nothing. That's all you have to do is go to berrypack.com and request yours and pay the shipping and apply your 100% off coupon and claim your veteran mystery box before Memorial Day is over and they're all gone. So take a look at it. I mean, I just showed you a whole bunch of stuff. Not everything will be in every box, otherwise it wouldn't be a mystery, but it is free and all you do is pay shipping. So, pretty good deal. I mean, I had to verify from Ashley because I'm like, this is more than $60 just the box, but it's pretty cool. And it comes in a giant box as well.
I consider this a great privilege to stand here and sing about my nation. And if that isn't good enough for you, it'll serve you right. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, our home, sweet home. God bless America, our home, sweet home.
One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, so I got a lot of stuff to show you. This is all the pageantry that went on today. I'm not going to interrupt it too much. I might have to check back if SV's got any breaking news, but sit back and enjoy this.
And gentlemen, please stand to the playing of the national anthem. The reclaim taps, and while the president observes a moment of silence. Shoulder! The President has paused for a moment of silence. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, accompanied by the Vice President, the Secretary of War, and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Trimble, Deputy Command Chaplain, Joint Task Force National Capital Region, and the U.S. Army Military District of Washington.
In your faith tradition, would you bow with me in a word of prayer? Almighty God, Creator, Sustainer, and Redeemer of all mankind, on this day of remembrance we gather as one people here in America's cemetery, humbled by the cost of freedom and united in gratitude for those who have given their lives in the last full measure of devotion. We remember the soldiers who stood in the breach when liberty was threatened, the sailors who braved the seas in defense of our peace, the airmen who soared into danger so others might live, and the guardians of our homeland who did not return to their families' embrace. From the fields of Gettysburg to the beaches of Normandy, from the hills of Korea to the jungles of Vietnam, from the sands of the Middle East to the skies above distant lands, their courage has been the shield of our nation. Lord, grant us wisdom to honor their memory, not only with words, but with lives worthy of their sacrifice. May we cherish the freedoms they have preserved, defend the justice they have sought, and extend compassion they carried in their hearts. Comfort the families who still feel the ache of absence. May they know their loved ones are not forgotten, that their names are spoken with reverence, and their legacy lives on in the soul of our nation. As we stand among the markers of the fallen, may we be reminded that liberty is never free. It is fought and paid for in courage, in service, and in love. God, we pray for peace, that one day swords may be beaten into plowshares, and no mother need weep for a child lost to war. Until that day, give us strength to be faithful stewards of the freedom entrusted to us. In your holy name, we remember, we honor, and we render thanksgiving. Amen.
Okay, before this continues, I want to address something. There's been a number of people, I don't know if they're trolls or what, but there have been a number of people who said this isn't what Memorial Day is all about. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but Memorial Day is specifically about honoring our fallen military personnel. Veterans Day is for all veterans, living and deceased. I'm not sure what the disconnect there is, but Memorial Day is specifically to honor fallen military personnel. And if you don't have to believe me, I also looked it up, and there it is right there for you. Memorial Day is a federal holiday in the United States observed on the last Monday of May to mourn and honor all military personnel who died while serving in the armed forces. I don't know what the disconnect is, but I wanted to jump in really quick here and clear that up. Veterans Day is for living and deceased military. This is to honor military members who passed on. It is what it is. I didn't make it up. It was here long before I got here. Just wanted people to know that.
Please remain standing and join the United States Army Band Pershing Zone in the playing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, General Kane.
Well, good afternoon, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, Secretary Hegseth, members of the President's Cabinet, distinguished guests, veterans, my fellow Joint Chiefs, my fellow Americans, and most importantly, our Gold Star families. Welcome to Arlington National Cemetery, and thank you for being here on this special day. Memorial Day is a day of remembrance, a day of mourning, and a day of celebrating the great American spirit, and most of all, gratitude. Gratitude for the men and women who stepped forward without hesitation when their nation called and said simply, "Send me." Today, as we gather on this sacred ground, surrounded by rows and rows of beautiful white headstones, we're reminded as Americans that each marker represents a life cut short, an individual story of American courage, tenacity, and grit. This summer, our nation will mark its 250th anniversary, and 2.5 centuries have passed since a group of patriots declared themselves an independent nation. But words alone were not enough to deliver on this declaration. Gaining independence as a nation required action, and a young group of soldiers, sailors, and Marines went out into the battlefields to fight and secure our independence and set the course for our great nation that we know today. Many of them lie here on this hallowed ground. For 250 years, the men and women of America's armed forces have always been willing to sacrifice for something greater than themselves. The patriots buried here connect the frozen encampments of Valley Forge to the cold forests of Europe, the sands of the Pacific to the mountains of Korea, and the jungles of Vietnam to the deserts of the Middle East. Across the centuries, the character, courage, and commitment of the American warfighter has never wavered, and it never will. It's that same warfighting spirit we recently saw in Operation Epic Fury, and we remember and honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice, adding their names to the story of American heroism. To the Gold Star families here today and those watching across this great nation, we know that for you, Memorial Day is not a single date on a calendar. It's literally every single day. You bear a burden that most of us cannot comprehend, but you do so with a grace and resilience that inspires an entire nation. We cannot replace what you've lost, but we can promise you this: your loved ones' names will never be forgotten. Their names are etched into the stones in this great cemetery, but more importantly, woven into the fabric of the story of our nation. May we always strive to be worthy of their sacrifice, and may we honor them by continuing to fiercely defend the nation they died to protect. We will never forget our fallen and their families, and may we always keep in mind our members of the deployed Joint Force right now and their families. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to introduce the Secretary of War and a combat veteran himself. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Pete Hegseth. Mr. Secretary.
Well, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, Chairman, thank you. Gold Star families, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us to remember our fallen warriors, from the sacred names of bygone eras to the 13 souls of epic fury. On this sacred occasion for our nation, we take the day for memories of our very best. They now lie in silent rows here at Arlington in more than 170 national cemeteries throughout our nation and across 17 countries around the world. They answered the call when it mattered the most. And they gave the last full measure of devotion so that this great republic of ours might endure. This day began as Decoration Day, when widows and orphans and other mourners placed flowers and ribbons on some 20,000 graves. They were soldiers once, and as they marched off to battle, they sang the lines of the hymn. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom which transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free, while God is marching on. The mourners of that first Decoration Day knew what we know on this Memorial Day, that these graves are more than names and dates with a dash in between. Each grave marker is a story. The young American on the battlefield away from home, he stayed in contact with loved ones by writing letters. In World War II, they called it victory mail. GIs wrote of coming home and watching sunsets again, of having a cigarette and a beer with their buddies, going to football games and on dates, loving their wives, seeing their children grow tall and great. Different wars, still the same letters today. Those we remember today will never get those sunsets. They'll never get those dates. They'll never get to raise their children. Instead, they were delivered from the battlefields into the arms of a loving Lord and Savior. Their families and their buddies greeting them home with a folded triangle of stars and the piercing sound of a soul bugle playing taps. Picnics, barbecues, and time at the beach, those things are wonderful aspects of Memorial Day weekend, and we should enjoy them for the fallen. They would want it that way. But this solemn day, we must remember that our republic was forged and purchased with blood. American blood. So take pause today and consider the transformation these warriors went through for our nation. Share it with your kids and your grandkids. We must. Ordinary men, when called, can become our heroes. They fought not because they hate what's in front of them, but because they love what's behind them. And so may the ones we remember today live on in every flag that flies. May they live on in every voice of a school child who says the Pledge of Allegiance. May they live in our prayers to Almighty God. Today, with this humble ceremony, we owe at least this, that with every salute, with every ceremony, with every parade, with every prayer, every day and every year, we remember. That by our remembrance, we guard the eternal flame that they lit with the price of their youth. They were Americans from small towns and big cities, and in the words of the Apostle Paul, they stood against the darkness of the world wearing the breastplate of righteousness. They've now gone on to their reward, but we remember them here on this hallowed ground. To them, to those, I say your watch is finished, but the legacy of what you left is eternal. You raced to the breach so that we could walk in freedom and prosperity. May we live lives worthy of their sacrifice and boldly carry forth their fight for freedom, picking up the sword of the Spirit and charging forward daily. May Almighty God bless our warriors, and may Almighty God bless our fallen and those they love. Always remember, and amen. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome special guest Craig Morgan and the United States Army Band performing Soldier.
Ready? Oh,
John. Oh, they build the big
I see some people in the chat saying, who's singing? That guy's name is Craig Morgan. He was a very popular country artist back in early 2000. He has a second song coming up later on at the end of the programming after President Trump speaks. But his name is Craig Morgan. His second song is a tearjerker. I mean, it's really good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President J.D. Vance.
Thank you all, and Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chairman, all of our honored guests, but especially our Gold Star families. I want to say just a few things today because I believe that the most important lesson of Memorial Day is perhaps that all of us owe a debt. That we owe a debt to the people who went overseas and gave their lives that the United States might be prosperous and peaceful and free. That we owe a debt to the people who put on a uniform knowing they might never come back. And indeed, today we pay tribute to those who never came back. I think like a lot of veterans, and we're joined by so many of you, sometimes Memorial Day is the most somber and the most sacred of the days on the American calendar. People will come up to our veterans and say things like, Happy Memorial Day, or may you have a blessed Memorial Day. And those of us who served know acutely that today is not for all veterans as much as we love all of our veterans. Today is for those veterans who put on the uniform, who went overseas, and who never came home.
Just wanted you guys to hear that because of all the people in the chat who are saying this isn't Veterans Day. Now you know exactly what it is. I told you, and the Vice President just underscored that.
When I think about the debt that we owe them, I think about all the things that they gave, which can't be measured in dollars or in the things of this world, but are measured in things like weddings that they never got to attend, children that they never saw grow up, daughters and sons that they never got to hug and kiss again, loved ones, husbands and wives. They traded every moment, from the moment where they gave their lives to the moment where they would ultimately meet their natural end. Every single one of those moments they gave up that the United States might remain the freest and best country in the entire world. What an amazing thing. What an amazing gift. On this Memorial Day, I just ask two things of all of our fellow Americans. The first is that we be the very best version of ourselves in honor of those who gave everything that this nation might be worthy. To all the husbands and fathers, that we be the best husbands and dads that we can. To all the mothers and wives, that they be the best moms and wives that they can. To the sons and daughters, that they be the very best version of themselves. And that second, we always remember that every moment that we're able to enjoy with our loved ones, everything that gives our life and our nation meaning and purpose, was given to us often by total strangers who laid down their lives that this might be the best nation in the history of the world. And finally, to our Gold Star families, I hope you know that I will never forget. I'll never forget your loved ones, that the good life that I have and that my family have is fundamentally because you paid a debt that I can never repay. I'll never forget their smiling faces. I'll never forget their skill and bravery in battle. I'll never forget that all the moments that I'm able to have with my family, they're not able to have with theirs. And most of all, I know from every American across every political persuasion that we love you, we're grateful to you, we're proud of you, and we commit to make the United States of America the very best version of itself, and that is how we honor those who gave their lives to this country. And without further ado, it is my great honor to introduce the 45th and 47th Commander-in-Chief of these United States, President Donald J. Trump. Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. What a beautiful day, as it turns out. It's just perfect. We'd rather have this than the heat. It's just beautiful. It's always beautiful being here. My 5th time, and it never changes. Vice President Vance, Secretary Hegseth, Chairman Kaine, members of the Cabinet, members of the United States Armed Forces, veterans, and fellow citizens. Today, here at Arlington, a very special place that how burial grounds, battlefields across the country and around the world, we unite in solemn observance. With reverent hearts, we honor those who fell so that our republic might stand, those who died so that our nation could live, those who gave up their sacred light on earth so that the sublime light of American freedom would shine forever and ever. This Memorial Day, we salute them, we exalt them, and we thank them for all that we have and for all that they gave. They gave everything. God bless our fallen heroes. We're joined today by some of those they left behind, our incredible Gold Star families, incredible people. To every person here and across America who holds tight to the memory of a warrior taken from them, we will never, ever forget the ones you loved. Gold Star family members, please stand. Receive our thanks, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. My honor. Less than 6 weeks from now, our nation will reach a historic milestone, 250 years of majestic American independence, something. But it's only right that first we remember the immense sacrifice that has been brought to us and this momentous anniversary year. That's what it is. It's a momentous year. Before we hail the founding, we honor the fallen. Before we celebrate the triumph, we pay the tribute. Before we crown the victory, we count the cost. Today we are reminded that there could be no 4th of July without America's armed forces, and there could be no Independence Day without Memorial Day. We owe our liberty, our self-government, the glories of our history, and our very nation itself to the generations who paid for it with everything they had, the ultimate sacrifice. The first Americans to give their lives in battle fell on April 1775, when 8 patriots were cut down by redcoats. Those guns, they were shot on Lexington Green. They had answered the call to muster against a force 5 times their strength. They said at the time, the greatest in the world, in defense of their cherished rights and their cherished liberty. As the British approached to Massachusetts, militiamen summoned destiny itself, saying, if they mean to have a war, let it begin right here. Caleb Harrington was 23 years old when he accompanied his father to the Green that day. Torn apart from each other in the chaos of combat, that American son died trying to fight his way back to his father. He wanted to get back to Dad. Caleb's cousin Jonathan was struck down at age 31, shot within the sight of his home, and his young wife and child who awaited his return. Jonathan crawled, bleeding, back to them to die on his own doorstep for a final, terrible but beautiful farewell. His widow and orphan were perhaps the very first Gold Star family in a long, unbroken chain that reaches up through the ages to us right here today. When our founding fathers put the ideas of the Declaration of Independence to paper in Philadelphia, they signed and sealed an oath that had already been written in blood by patriots at Lexington, Concord, and Bunker Hill. Their sacrifice birthed the most incredible and exceptional nation in all of history. And our nation is doing better today than it's ever done before. Right? That's right. The cause of independence exploded from that part of the American soul that will not be tamed, that will never be conquered, that will rather face death than to live as slaves to the arbitrary will of another. This is the unyielding spirit that has always set Americans apart and driven generations of American warriors into battle, their chests beating with the cry that says, "We will govern ourselves. We will control our destiny. We will bow to no one but the righteous God who made us and who gave us our rights and blessed this land of free and the bravest of the brave." 10 days into the legendary Battle of the Bulge in World War II, Lieutenant Colonel Keith Ware led 11 men in a tank against entrenched German positions, the toughest positions anywhere in the world. Half the patrol, including Ware himself, were soon wounded, yet still he killed 5 enemy riflemen, demolished 3 German machine gun nests, forced a 4th to surrender, and captured the hill. For his heroism, he received the Congressional Medal of Honor. Unlike most drafted soldiers, Ware stayed in the Army and rose to the rank of general, a highly respected general. In Vietnam, as commander of the 1st Infantry, the Big Red One, they called it. Yeah. That's very nice. He led from the front, and in 1968, that's where he was shot down, surveying enemy positions for the famous assault on Hill 222. Known as the Fighting General, he's buried here in Arlington, and with us is his grandson and namesake, Staff Sergeant Keith Ware, an Air Force veteran. Keith, where are you, Keith? Where are you, Keith? Hi, Keith. Thank you very much. Great honor. We're also honored to be joined by a man who, like General Ware, is a veteran of the largest battle in U.S. Army history, the Battle of the Bulge. At 15, Harry Miller lied about his age to enlist and was soon fighting to stop the SS Panzer divisions as part of the famed 740th Tank Battalion, the Daredevils they were called, of which he is among the last surviving members at 97 years old. Within 6 months after the battle, Harry's unit lost 42 comrades. He's remembering them today. Sergeant Miller, it is a true honor to have you with us. Sergeant Miller. And it looks great. Thank you. Many of the greatest men of that generation followed along an epic path from World War II to Korea and to Vietnam. Major Charles Kelly was the father of aggressive dust-off helicopter flying that made Army medical evacuation pilots among the most fearless. In Vietnam, the greatest helicopter pilots, they say, that ever lived. Like Sergeant Miller, Charles enlisted to serve in World War II at age 15. He was wounded at the Battle of Aachen and went on to fight in Korea. But flying helicopter ambulances in Vietnam is what etched his name into history. Since I have been here, he wrote in 1964, we have evacuated 1,800 casualties, and in the last 3 months, we've flown 242 hours at night. No other unit can match this, and they flew the most dangerous routes probably in the history of warfare. 2 weeks later, under brutal enemy fire, Kelly refused to withdraw until he had loaded the wounded aboard. As he prepared for takeoff, an enemy bullet pierced his heart. Yet Charles Kelly's heroic life-saving style lived on. His comrades and command passed on to Captain Patrick Henry Brady, and 4 years later, Brady piloted 3 damaged helicopters in turn to evacuate an incredible 51 wounded warriors under intense fire like no one has seen up till that point. For this, he received also the Congressional Medal of Honor. General Brady is with us at 89 years old as we salute his fallen mentor, Charles Kelly. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. Sergeant First Class Matthew McClintock enlisted in the Army in 2006 and became a very special Green Beret. In 2016, he found himself in an hours-long firefight with Afghan terrorists. When a comrade was severely wounded, Matthew wanted to find a landing zone for a medevac rescue. Very dangerous, horrible way to be flying. He was reminded on the dangers, but Matthew replied, we have to save him. We have to do it. Running out in the face of mortars and rocket-propelled grenades, he went to work, but was soon gravely wounded. He was hit from every possible angle. Matthew fell that day, but the soldier he gave his life to save survived and thrived, and Matthew was awarded the Silver Star. We're deeply honored to be joined by Matthew's mother, Joyce, his widow, Allie, and his precious young son, Declan. Here to remember Matthew at his grave in Section 60, 10 years later. So Joyce and Allie and Declan, we salute Sergeant Matthew McClintock as an American hero. Please. Thank you. These are tremendous people. These are brave, brave people. In 2 wars recently, we've lost a total of 13 service members. In Venezuela, which was a complete and total victory, where we're working very closely with the Venezuela government right now. We took that over in 1 day, and we lost no one. In Operation Epic Fury, we lost 13 wonderful souls, wonderful, special people. These incredible men and women gave their lives to ensure that the world's #1 state sponsor of terror will never have a nuclear weapon. Oh, and they won't. They will never have a nuclear weapon. I'm sure you know that. One of them was Major Ariana Savino Lindsay, and we're joined by her great family, Omira, Darren, Zevin, and Wick. Stand up, please. Please. There he is. There he is. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vic. Thank you very much. To all of you, Ariana's selfless gift will not be in vain. Our debt to you is everlasting, and it's always going to end in victory. We're having victories all over the place, more than we've had in many, many decades. Scripture tells us, precious is the sight of the Lord, is the death of his faithful servants. 400,000 souls rest on these grounds, these beautiful grounds, in the sacred soil which is first consecrated in the hours of America's greatest division to be eternal symbol of national unity. It cannot be by chance alone that the very first service member laid to rest here in this place of supreme sacrifice was a Union soldier by the name of Private Christman, Private William Henry Christman of Pennsylvania, who died as 19 years old. He was a great young man, they say. Beside him are more than 18,000 other young men named William, over 20,000 named John, over 13,000 named James, joined over time by Isaac, Elijah, Earls, Hanks, Helens, Juans, Margarets, Marius, Donalds, not too many, and others whose names tell the true story of American greatness, and greatness it is. Here beneath arching trees and white stones so beautiful, these many are made one again, united forever as brothers and sisters in arms and children of our fathers in heaven. From coast to coast, from proud cities to humble towns, and from heartland fields, from every race and religion, they came because they could not bear the thought that the nation they love so much might ask for heroes and hear no answer. But they answered, and they answered very, very loudly at Ticonderoga and San Juan Hill, at Manila Bay and Midway, at Pointe du Hoc and Busan. The courage of the American warrior has forged a path through every sea and every place that's marked a trail to every corner on the earth. In 250 years, America's heroes have saved more lives, freed more captives, accomplished more good, and spread more hope than any other people at any time in the history of the world. Whole nations, no liberty today. Entire generations, no freedom. Billions and billions of people have been delivered from poverty, tyranny, and oppression because of the sacrifices we honor this day. That's why from Brittany to Sicily, from Panama City to Saipan, from the Netherlands to North Africa to New Zealand, this whole planet is adorned with memorials to America's fallen and to America's greatness, to their courage, carved in marble and engraved in the hearts of all of mankind. We will never forget you. From 1776 to 2026, America has always stood as a great and moral cause. Our warriors are no mere mercenaries. They are guardian angels who stride across the battlefields of history and stand watch over the highest and most beautiful plains the human spirit has ever seen, holding the line between liberty and tyranny, between civilization and barbarism, between good and evil. Wherever the American soldier walks, wherever he fights, wherever he fails, and wherever he falls, he does it for the destiny of a nation like no other. There's never been anybody like you. and for the fate of freedom on this earth, we salute you like nobody has ever been saluted before. By their deaths, those who have gone before us in battle have redeemed the promise of our founding for each future generation. They've not just made the ultimate sacrifice, they've offered the ultimate proof that we Americans do indeed love liberty. We do cherish the self-government given to us by our forefathers. We do believe with all our souls in the mission that God has given to America. And we do intend with all our strength and heart to hold high the torch our heroes handed to us, and we will never, ever let it fall. Thank you very much. You are special, special people. We love you all. God bless the families of the fallen. God bless the men and women who serve. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, everybody.
Now, don't go anywhere. It's not over. There's still some music, and, well, you'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of taps and the benediction.
Now receive the benediction. God of all creation, we pray you bless our nation, our leaders, and those who make decisions over us with wisdom, unity, and grace toward all. Now may the God of peace, who provides freedom to gather, equip us and guide us as we leave this place. May we carry the burden of the brave who paid the ultimate sacrifice by honoring their legacy through our pursuit of justice and compassion. In your strong name I pray, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Please welcome back Craig Morgan and the United States Army Band performing Paradise. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as you are able and remain in place as the official party departs and the colors are retired.
That's it. That's that. By the way, people were asking in the chat who the guy was. His name is Craig Morgan. That song there was called Paradise. If you want to look it up on YouTube, I think it was like 2001, 2002. He was a much younger man, obviously, but you can look up the song Craig Morgan Paradise and see the original version. He was an up and coming guy back then in 2000. Good music, good singer. Excuse me. And I'm glad they brought somebody out who was, Toby's not here anymore, but in that same vein. So today's not going to be a 3-hour show. I just wanted to do his presentation. I figured a lot of people were busy today out doing things and haven't seen this presentation of all those guys talking. JD, President Trump, Pete Hegseth, and General Raising Cane. So just wanted to make sure you guys got that. SV, anything going on before we get out of here?
Hey there, your mic is going in and out a little bit, but
I don't know. It's all green here, so I don't know what it
I hear
could
you
be.
okay now.
Oh.
No worries. Let's check in with Karen Bass. Let's see how she's doing. Earlier, we're going to go out with a little bit of smiles on her face here. So she said it's an incredible honor to receive an endorsement from Congresswoman Maxine Waters. She has been one of the most powerful voices in Washington as ranking member of the House Financial Services Committee, opening the doors of banking and finance to Black and brown communities who were locked out for generations. Nick Serto writes, "Congrats on being endorsed by one of the very few people even more retarded than you are." I love it.
Oh my gosh. You know that they must be getting very desperate if they brought out old Max Mad Max to go ahead. Oh my God, to give somebody an endorsement. That's just too much. That's wow.
But nothing additional on the Iran situation.
Okay.
It's actually, they said it was pretty much done. Yeah.
Okay. And now that you mention it, when is that mayoral race? Do you know?
I'm thinking about the one in Texas. That's tomorrow.
Texas is tomorrow, so you guys got to get out. If you're in Texas, go ahead and hopefully you can vote for Ken Paxton. That'd be one. And get your tickets ready.
The LA primary election is June 2nd, just about a week from now.
Okay. So we got to buy our plane tickets or bus tickets to head out to LA.
I'm out there. I'm going to vote.
So we can vote.
I've already voted online. Shh.
Oh, yeah. Just say your name is Juan Valdez. I make coffee and my name is Juan Valdez, and you'll be okay. Everything.
Wait a minute, I have a different name, Jesus Montoya Perez. I'm looking for the Six-Finger Man. Do you know who he is?
Oh gosh, oh my! They don't check any. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Before we go, I'm checking to see if they've announced the schedule for tomorrow to get back in things.
Okay.
Nope, they haven't. So usually it comes out at about 10 o'clock or so. And I also had put up a poll, and people were like, "Yeah, show Nessun Dormant tomorrow." So I'm going to see if we have the time to do that, because usually I'm going to be going live at 4 p.m. and we'd have to turn it around too quickly. But something tells me we're going to have an early show tomorrow, because I think some things are going to break. We shall see, but we'll know.
All right. Mod Squad will be ready.
Well, thank you, SB. I'm going to go do super chats, and then I'm going to go have dinner. Thank you, sir. All right. So yeah, I don't know why the microphone is going all out, because over here it shows everything is green and fine. So I'm not really sure what that is. I'll have to check on it. All right. So let's do super chats, and let me thank and acknowledge everybody. Real KRO. Whew, thank you very, very much. Thank you for that. Ernst Walker, about your poll. I lost my peaceful self in the Navy. I came home with severe PTSD. I've been working to get right since coming home in 77. I am a MAGA patriot until hell freezes over. Well, I hope you find that inner peace that you're looking for. I know where you can get some. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in here who can tell you where you might be able to find some of that inner peace. Chiosop, once we get the dust, we will find out it's the uranium that Hillary sold to Russia. The deep state is pushing Iran to keep fighting the same thing they did in Ukraine. Bingo! Bingo! Wait till that comes out that it's actually ours. James Hammond Barry suggests that you listen to any YouTube channel called American Fire. It's very interesting. Okay, I'll take it. Check a look. I like seeing new stuff. Al Phelps, thank you. William Santos, thank you, Barry, for having this amazing show. To remember our fallen heroes that sacrificed their souls for our nation's freedom. God bless you and your family on this special day. Love you, brother. Thank you. Love you. And yeah, I didn't know that it was such a disconnect that people didn't realize that that's what Memorial Day. I just took it for granted that everybody knew what it was about. I was shocked when I was seeing comments, and I'm like, are they trolls or do people really not know what Memorial Day is about? That's interesting. Neo, thank you. Barry, thank you for sharing this event for Memorial Day with the president. So beautiful. God bless and rest in peace, all our fallen warriors. Yes, thank you very much. It was holiday weekend, and I'm like, I want to do a show, but I don't want to get into news today. We'll do news tomorrow, and we'll dig into a lot of different stuff that's going on, including, excuse me, the Nazi they got running for office up in Maine, which is amazing because I thought Nazis and fascists were just completely the worst people on earth, unless you're a Democrat. Then it's okay. You can be a Nazi. I'll see you guys tomorrow.